So this is the number theory lecture 2. So let me start with some theorems. This is the theorem number 4. Let a comma b comma c belongs to z. This is integer, right? It belongs to integer such that a is not equal to 0. If a divides b and a divides c, then first is what? A divides b plus c. Second one is a divides b minus c. Third one is a divides bc, and fourth one is a divides bx plus cy for all x comma y belonging to z. So first I will be proving this one, okay. Now since a divides b, therefore there exists alpha belongs to integer such that b is equal to a into alpha. Here you have to use the definition of the divisibility which I have already taught you all in the last lecture, in the lecture 1. Okay, now since a divides c, therefore there exists beta belonging to integer such that c is equal to a into beta. Okay. Now b plus c is equal to what? Now we want what? Now we need this b plus c, right? So what is b plus c? Is equal to, now b is equal to a into alpha. Place the value here plus what is c? C is nothing but a beta plus a beta. Now take the a common, okay, and then alpha plus beta. Therefore you will get a divides b plus c has this belongs to integer. So I hope you all already know that a divides b. If there exists c belonging to integer or any element belonging to integer such that b is equal to ac. So in this format, right? So here definition of the divisibility is very important. Okay. Next is, so that's what I have done it over here. Okay. We'll be doing the second one, that is a divides b minus c. So this part, first part will be same. Okay. Since a divides b, therefore there exists alpha belonging to integer such that b is equal to a into alpha. Since a divides c, therefore there exists beta belonging to integer such that c is equal to a into beta. This part will be remaining as same, okay, in the second also. Now what is b minus c? Place the value of what is b, a alpha minus what is c, a beta, right? Here you all are getting what is your a, b and what is your c. Place the values here. Okay, then b minus c is equal to what? Now these your a you all have to take it common, okay, and then alpha minus beta. So finally we'll get a divides b minus c has alpha minus beta belongs to integer. Next is the third one. To prove the third one, okay, over here. So for third one there is no need for this step, okay, there is no need for this step. Since a divides b, therefore there exists alpha belong to integer such that b is equal to a alpha. Okay, now what is bc is equal to? Plug the value of b over here, that is a alpha, into c, write it as it is. Therefore bc is equal to a, keep it outside and take alpha c in one this thing. Therefore this a divides bc has alpha c belongs to integer. So this belongs to integer, okay. So we proved the third property, the third one also. Now fourth one is what? Proving the fourth one, that is a divides bx plus cy for all x comma y belongs to integer, okay. Right, that a divides b and a divides c. So proof 4 is what? Since a divides b, therefore there exists alpha belong to integer such that b is equal to a alpha. Since a divides c, therefore there exists beta belong to integer such that c is equal to a into beta, okay. Then bx plus cy, now plug the value of b over here, that is a alpha, okay, that is a alpha, and into x is there, plus what is c? C is a beta, plug the value, and then y, write it as it is. Then a alpha x, okay, plus a beta y. So now a beta into y I said. So now what is therefore bx plus cy. Now take a common and then alpha x plus beta y. Therefore you all can say that a divides this bx plus cy. Again we have used the definition of the divisibility, right? Next let me do one more theorem, that is theorem number 5. With this we are done with all the four this thing. First one, second one, all this we have proved. So which one it is? So I have proved all these, first one, second one, third one and fourth one. Okay. Now theorem 5. Let me see. Let a comma b comma x comma y belongs to z such that integer this is such that a is not equal to 0 and 0 is not equal to b. That means a and b are not equal to 0. Okay. A is not equal to 0 and b is also not equal to 0. Okay. If a divides b and x divides y, then ax divides by. Okay. Yeah. So since a divides b, what happens? It is given, right? If a divides b. So since a divides b, therefore there exists alpha belong to integer such that b is equal to a alpha. Since x divides y, since this x divides y, therefore there exists beta belongs to integer such that y is equal to x into beta. Okay. Now by is equal to a alpha into x beta. Now what is my b over here? B is nothing but a alpha. Plug the value here and then what is your y? Y is x beta. Plug the value here. Then x, take it together, this a and x, and alpha beta, take it to the other side. Okay. Then therefore you can say that ax divides by has alpha beta, this belongs to integer. Next theorem is number 6. Okay. Let a comma b comma c belongs to integer such that a is not equal to 0, b is not equal to 0. Okay. Both of them are not equal to 0. If a divides b and b divides c, then a divides c. Okay. If this happens, then I can say that if a divides b and b divides c, then I can say that a divides c. So since a divides b, therefore there exists alpha belong to integer such that b is equal to a alpha. Since b divides c, therefore there exists beta belong to integer such that c is equal to b beta. Now what is your b here? B is nothing but a alpha, right? Plug the value here then. And then beta, write it as it is. Then a, take it outside, alpha beta, take it other side. Okay. Then you can say that a divides c. So with this I am done with today's theorem 6 also. In the next lecture I will be doing the prime, what is a co-prime. Okay, and I hope you all have understood today's lecture and thanks for watching.